Hey, shalom, I want to start for souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Shaba, Hashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to brothers doing the work in truth, while sincerity. This one is more on a little demon that that I met yesterday, or rather that basically was trying to fuck with me yesterday. Some basically just, because London's full of just some demons, man, some disrespectful ass people, and you see that more so on the tube, the metro, London Underground, where people would just be pushing past you and shit, and then just being just outright disrespectful. But obviously one of the things we've always got to do is, for the best of our ability to maintain spiritual, to remain spiritual, because there really is no point, being calm. We've got a job to do, man. Where you can't be, preaching in, our job is to preach, and we can't really be doing that, if we're finding ourselves in cells for no good reason. Yeah, if you're doing the work, and then, Esau rolls up, then it is what it is. But if you're just out there being carnal, right, then, it's, then what the fuck, in the spirit. Because it also happened to another brother earlier on in the morning in a different kind of situation, just before we started camp, and basically it's a thing of, look, man, there's no point being no point getting carnal. The Lord will deal with it, man. Just send out them curses, man, and the Lord will deal with it, right? Because these people, Lord's will the elect. These people don't know who they're fucking with. They don't know who they're dealing with, man. Right? So I'll get into some scriptures. Romans 8:5 says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit." Right? So spiritual man, their mind is on spiritual things, right? For instance, if you're in a tricky situation, a carnal man's mind is gonna be, oh shit, I'm to fight with these people, this, that, and the other, getting ready to fight. Spiritual man's gonna be more like, hey, Lord Yahbashim, Al-Shai, deliver me from this situation, right? It says verse 6, it says, "For to be," not saying that there won't be instances where you have to fight, right? But it ain't supposed to be one where you're supposed to be starting fights. We're supposed to be spiritual men, right? So obviously, someone tries to sucker punch you or whatever, you can defend yourself. I'm not saying you can't do that, right? But the main thing is for us to always, maintain spiritual, to remain spiritual, right? Because it also ties in with the fact that, one, we ain't supermen, right? We can't just go around be thinking that everyone is we can defeat everyone just because we got this truth. No, some situations you got to dip, and how Shai did that one time. They were after him, and then he just dipped off, man. He dipped off, right? Because like I said, it ain't, we're not Superman. We can't just be fighting everyone because we haven't got the spiritual power yet. We're still in this flesh, and that's not what we've been told to do. Our thing is just about pushing this word for the time being, right? Let me get Jeremiah, because there will come a time, right? It says Jeremiah 16:16, says, "Behold, I will send for many fishes, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them." And that's what we're doing right now, right? We're fishing for men, right? We're just teaching the word. That's all we can do. Right, that's all that we've been, given a remit to do. That's the spec, right? You go into any of these jobs, they're gonna give you a spec, and that spec is gonna say, okay, do X, Y, and Z. Right? If you start working outside that remit, then that boss is gonna come and say, "Yo, what you doing? I told you to do X, Y, and Z. Why are you now over there doing that? It ain't time to be doing that yet." And that's the same thing right now. Our main focus should just be pushing this word and, gathering in the elect. It says, "And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, out of the holes of the rocks." Right. So there will come a time when you'll get hunters, man. But for the time being, we're just fishers of men. Right, it says back in Romans 8:6, for to be carnally minded is death, right? But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. Right, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please, so they that in the flesh cannot please the Most High, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. Right, so that's the whole point. We're supposed to be spiritual so we can please the Most High. Right, and one of those ways of being spiritual, sometimes someone would, will flat out disrespect you, or this, that, and the other. Maybe try to fight with you and everything. Not everything, is about getting into fist fights, man. Right? You just put you put your hands on, and you say the curses, man. Right? Ya Bashem, Ya Oshai, Shalak, Rayam, Wa Anashim, Wa Haragyam, Wa Abadyam, Wa Moshapatyam, and then you direct it at whoever it is. Right? And all we gotta do is have faith that the Lord will deal with that individuals, right? This is 2 Corinthians 10:3 says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. Right, so the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. The weapons of our warfare are these scriptures. Especially if someone comes up to the camp, we ain't supposed to be getting carnal. We're just supposed to be hurting them with the scriptures. Right, it says Hebrews 4:12. It says, for the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Right, so it's what you call it. This word cuts, and if you watch certain videos, or you'll be at the camp, and you'll see certain people after they've come up to the camp, and brothers have been on point with them precepts. Their whole life is ruined. Their whole life is ruined, and then you can see that they've been, touched worse than any beating, right? Because it ain't about that. Your bruises, your physical bruises heal up. Right, but cutting some of the scriptures, and letting the Most High deal with certain situations, right, that leaves an impact, man. Right, because the Lord is the King of terrors. Right, the Lord has the power to bug someone out. Right, what does the scripture say in Sirach? It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart. Right, Sirach 25. Ooh. Where is that? Those 25. Yeah, 25:13. It says, "Give me any plague, but the plague of the heart." Right now we know heart is referring to the mind. Right, it says, so give me any plague, but the plague of the mind. Right, so getting bugged out, man. The Lord has the power to do that. Make a sane man just go completely crazy. Right. Which is a lot more satisfying, right, than, punching someone in the face. That like I said, those bruises will heal. Right, which is why, like I said, you just go remain spiritual. Right, it says Luke 17 from the top. It says, then said he unto the disciples, it is impossible, but that offenses will come, but woe unto him through whom they come. Right, so you get people that will cause issues. Right, cause offenses, right? But woe means destruction, right? It says verse 2 says, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than he should offend one of these little ones, right? So all of these people that come up and are offending you, this, that, and the other, it were better that a millstone were hanged about their neck, man. Right? Because the Lord, like I said, the Lord is the King of terrors. Right, and that's why you have certain people that will straight flat out disrespect you, right? And that's, simply because, That's simply because that was for the Most High to be justified in destroying them. Right, it says 1 Peter 5:8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. right? One of those ways is to make you act out of character, make you act carnal, right? That demon will jump on an individual, try make you act carnal, make you go off, right? And that's just something you've got to be aware of. Like I said, the one I the one I encountered yesterday, man, was one bitch, man, right? And she was probably trying to act tough because the geezer looked like a mixed race, bruh. So she was thinking, oh, I'm of. Basically, she was like, I'm of a Jake, so I can just go around behaving however I please, right? And in the video I was doing yesterday, man, if I was a grimy ass nigga, I would have ended up fighting, knocking him out because of what she did, right? And she's what a lot of these guys don't seem to understand. It ain't, what the scripture say, seek her not for her beauty, man. Stumble not a woman for her beauty, right? You got to weigh all of the options, especially in this world where wickedness is strife. One thing I always say, right, and this is personal, so it ain't doctrine, it's me personally, right? For as much as I like a big bum, I love a big bum. I'm a Jake. I'm a heterosexual Jake, right? In fact, no, I'm a Jake. You don't even need to put that as it is with like, man, being a homosexual. I mean, that's off, man. In our kingdom, there ain't gonna be such a thing. But I love a big ass, right? But in this kingdom, man, that brings a whole load of hell with it. Right, you'll be walking with your chick, then you have some grimy ass niggas trying to slide in while you're doing what you're doing. Right, not saying if you got a big booty hoe, no, I'm not saying that. Right, not saying that if the Lord sent me a big booty, I wouldn't deal with it. But then you got to be aware, as we're reading here, 1 Peter 5:8, of all the hell that will come with that, man. Right, you have, like I said, you have grimy niggas trying to, just cause you issues. Right. This is another another important factor as well is no point getting carnal and getting all worked up, all of the silly shit that you'll encounter in your day to day, because at the end of the day, right, we've got bigger fish on our plate, bigger fish to fry, right? And those bigger fishes, man, those are real issues, like real principalities, real spirits on the left hand side that are genuinely trying to fuck with us, right? Because the battle we're fighting is a spiritual battle, right? We're sending a vibration out, that is destroying this kingdom. Whenever we do these videos, whenever out there on the streets, prophesying the word. But then the elites on the left hand side, they're trying to send out vibrations to try to fuck with us to stop doing that. Right, it says Ephesians 6:10 says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right, so for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Right, so flesh and blood, man, woman, child. That's not who our battle is with. Right, our battle is against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? So that's who we're really fighting against, right? So all of these guys, man, for instance, I'm not big into boxing, so excuse if I make any faux pas, right? But let's say you have what's his face, 50 and all, what's this guy's name? Floyd Mayweather. If I been training boxing for like 2 years and I call Floyd Mayweather out for a fight, he's just gonna go, who's this guy, and keep it moving, right? So and similarly in this thing of ours, you have you have unworthy opponents, and just brush them aside, man. Just brush them aside and be like, look, man, the Lord will deal with this guy, man. We've got bigger fish to fry. Right, it says, verse 13 says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. It says, so the whole armor of the Most High says scriptures, and more so the understanding of these scriptures. Right, you get Revelations 1 and 3, right? It says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which were written there for the time is at hand. Right, it's really blessed to see that understands, because any man can read. Right, was to know again, to read, to distinguish between, to recognize, to know accurately, to acknowledge. Right, so to understand, blessed to see that understandeth, man. With all I get understanding. That's the main thing. Like I said, anyone can read. Everyone's been reading. You get family members. I've been in the church for however long. I've read the Bible over and over again, right? But they haven't got the understanding. Right, so it's the arm of the Most High, these scriptures, more so the understanding of them, faith in the Most High, faith in His Son, and belief in the names of the Lord, and standing firmly for the names of the Lord, for the name of the Father, and for the name of the Son. Right, so Psalms 105:15 says, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Right, hey man, you do the prophets of the Lord harm. Hey, the Lord's gonna deal with you, man. And that's what I'm saying. There's no need to get carnal. Just let the Lord deal with it. Just let the Lord deal with it. Because like, for instance, I'll speak for myself. I'm not one that gets angry easily. I'm not one that gets pissed off. Right. So for me, for someone to get me like that, look, man, you fucked up. And for that, just like I said, just put up them curses. Keep it moving, and the Lord will deal with it. You never know when, might not deal with it that day, might not deal with it in a week, might deal with it, obviously, the time is short, so I won't say, we hope we'll be here out of this kingdom by then, but, might deal with it in a week, a month, a couple of months, you might not even find out, maybe you just happen to come across it in in a news spread, the Lord has dealt with that person. Or, the Lord will just lay them there for you right in front when that time has come and you get to deal with them. Right, or, Lord's war of the elect, when those chariots, while this world's being burnt up, and then we see them getting all burnt up. Right? But, yeah, like I said, no point being carnal, just let the Lord deal with it. And, so Lord's will you were edified, and without much say shalom.